All right, ladies and gentlemen, lots to talk about from a Chelsea news point of view. Aubameyang has a few things to say about Thomas Tuchel and for Graham Potter as well, and some personal stuff as well for Aubameyang. And there's heaps of other news, some interesting things that we definitely need to talk about.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get straight stuck into this right away, ladies and gentlemen. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang on Thomas Tuchel. Everyone knows the relationship I have with Thomas. It's always sad when someone leaves the club. He was a bit frustrated and sad. I will try to talk to him as soon as possible. There's a little bit of a clip of him talking about that. You can check that out on the Absolute Chelsea's Twitter page. He further goes on to say, in regards to Graham Potter, I think he's a person who is really positive and with a great character. We'll try to learn with him. We want to win as soon as possible, coming from Nizar Kinsella. No, it won't take long to adapt. I think his idea is very clear, so I think it's going to be easy. I think it takes time to adapt to each other as well, but it's going to be okay. When you play for Chelsea, you need results as soon as possible. That's why I'm frustrated today. Obviously, I feel like, we deserve to beat Salzburg. I think the team felt that way as well. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, in regards to Salzburg draw, I'm a bit frustrated about the result. We played well, and unfortunately, we needed to score a few more goals to win the game. And we had chances as well. I need more time to recover from my injury. I'm not 100%. It's not easy to play with a mask and injury, but hopefully I will get to 100% as soon as possible. Look, let's talk a little bit about Aubameyang, ladies and gentlemen. I think he's definitely shook by that violent incident that's happened to him and his family. And the fact that he opened up about Thomas Tuchel and said that, the first few bits, let's just revisit that. Everyone knows the relationship I have with Thomas. It's always sad when someone leaves the club. He was a bit frustrated and sad. I would try, you can see, he had no idea. He had no idea what was going on. He completely felt that he was coming back and, he's going to restart, I suppose, a relationship with Thomas Tuchel and play under him. And it's a massive shock to his system. Not only personally what has happened to him, that violent ordeal, but to go through this as well. I feel this is where Graham Potter really needs to put his hand around Aubameyang, and that emotional intelligence that we talk about with Graham Potter, the educational background that he has at a human level to be able to connect in those moments. I think this is it, man. Like, this particular player, he needs help, I feel like, just mentally to stable him down and give him that comfort again. We're expecting a lot from Aubameyang, rightly so, but at the same time, his mental state's got to be at the right place. I think this is very, very crucial that Graham Potter sits down with him and talks through with him if he's physically and mentally fine as well from that violent contact. And of course, playing with a mask on, it wouldn't be comfortable. Always you're worried that what if you get another elbow or something on the jaw. So until and unless that sort of fully recovers, and this is probably a time where we can utilize, where there's no club football coming up. Next up is international football. He can focus on recovering. But on top of that, the manager that he hoped to play under is no longer there. I think Graham Potter just needs to be very open about that and simply just talk to him. And I hope he does, because we need goals from Aubameyang. Ladies and gentlemen, you let me know how you feel about this Aubameyang situation. Much like the Billy Gilmore one, going to Brighton, hoping he was going to play under Potter, and it just didn't transpire. Check this out. Brighton's Moises Caicedo on Graham Potter. There's some rumors starting. This is one player I definitely would take from Brighton. Classic number 8 for us, he would be. I think one who could potentially play the Kante role, but let's see what he had to say. It made me very sad now that he left for Chelsea, because he helped me a lot and I wanted to continue having him as a manager, but that's football. Further goes on to say, you never know. Today you can be here and tomorrow somewhere else. That's the job of a footballer and a coach. At Brighton, he worked very well and people love him very much. I'm very happy for him and for the great opportunity that was presented to him. Right now, I'm very focused on Brighton and the World Cup. I want to have a great World Cup, and then we'll see what happens. I think he plays for Ecuador. So he's definitely going to be looking forward to that World Cup, and I hope he has a very good World Cup. I don't know, because that would increase his price, wouldn't it? But nah, I definitely wish him have a very good World Cup. I think they are one of the best teams in the world, and nobody would turn down an offer from Chelsea or any other club like that. It would be a dream to be in the best teams in the world and succeed there. Look at that. Like more or less saying he wouldn't mind if Chelsea come along. Look, Moises Caicedo, I think we're in a predicament with N'Golo Kante, aren't we? With all the injuries, now we're talking about the contract. He's rejected the initial contract as well. He wants 3+1. I think Boehly and the Iqbali, the consortium, the new owners, we've offered him 2+1. Is it time? Is it time to perhaps move on and perhaps look at a player like Moises Caicedo? Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got what we had to get from N'Golo Kante. Look, as much as I love him, man, the entire fan base loves him for everything that he's done. It would be such a fairy tale situation for him to finish up at Chelsea Football Club. But injuries have killed this brother for the last 3 seasons, man. Like, and to the point where I think him not being around has kind of hampered Thomas Tuchel's situation too. Like, if he was around, I don't think we get beat in some of those games. In fact, we'd probably compete and win. So maybe Moises Caicedo, who's the next big thing at Brighton, along with a few other players, but he is definitely up there on top of the tree. Obviously, there was Basuma and Cucurella last season, but Moises Caicedo is the big name in Brighton. And another one of those magical recruitment scenarios that Brighton has conjured up. So, ladies and gentlemen, you let me know how you feel about Moises Caicedo. I would actually take him. I've got no animosity towards N'Golo Kante or anything like that, but I feel like it's probably the right time to perhaps leave. On top of that, if he's not accepting 2+1 year, I'd love to exchange him with Caicedo. But yeah, once again, you let me know how you feel about that. FC Salzburg sporting director Christoph Freund. I've had exchanges with Chelsea from time to time. We spoke more often a month or 2 ago because they were interested in Sesko. There you go. It's quite open. We were interested in Sesko, and it's true. The new owners are interested in how we do it with young players, how we integrate them into the first team. But you do that again and again with other clubs. That is it. Chelsea is a huge club in transition. I can say exactly what it will happen in the next few. I can't say exactly what will happen in the next few weeks and months. You should never rule anything out in football, and Chelsea are such a huge club. But I'm sports director in Salzburg, and I really enjoy it. You can tell this brother, he's been tapped up, hasn't he? He's been tapped up, and I think this potentially will happen. He's the closest one, seems like, that we're getting linked with, and we need this. We need the sporting director immediately. We need him. Graham Potter needs the help. We need to make sure come the January window, we are snappy. We are there. We have a plan and we execute. We shouldn't be using the January transfer window to plan. The planning should happen from now. And as soon as the window opens, the pre-conversations should have already happened with players who, as soon as the window opens, it's all about signing. So sporting director, very, very important. And hopefully we get this brother on board. He's got a good track record. He's got quite a few players. And maybe, who knows, some of the Salzburg players, I don't know if I really would like to get any of those or all of those. But Sesko maybe, although he wasn't that impressive yesterday. But then again, I don't want to just have my opinion on one game. But Christoph Freund, you never know. He could have some potential gems under his wings. So something we need to tap into, and hopefully Graham Potter can and his backroom staff can collaborate. AC Milan chief Paolo Maldini on Rafa Leao. An official offer for Chelsea never arrived, but on an informal level, it did. Of course, it was refused. I think, look, if there was an informal level offer, I think there might be a proper offer come the new windows, the new transfer window. The fact that Todd Boehly is close to Jorge Mendes as well, and the Portuguese sort of league over there, we'll talk about that. He's looking at buying one of the Portuguese team. I feel like this is probably going to happen. It's all about having a conversation with Jorge Mendes. It's all about seeing if his client wants to move. to Chelsea. AC Milan obviously will do their level best to hold on to this player and perhaps give a new contract. But these are the kind of caliber of players I feel like we need. That creative winger. We've got too many players right now who, Ziyech and Pulisic, of course, looks like they don't want to be at Chelsea Football Club, and we need to replace them. And we haven't even replaced some of the players that we've let go previously. We need more attacking, creative outlet, and I think Leao will be brilliant for us. And players like Sterling, they're literally carrying us, man. They need help. They really do. Sooner or later, they're going to get really, really disappointed about how they're part of a team that doesn't seem to have other outlets. We need to bring in quality players. And I feel like Todd Boehly will do it as well. Rafael Leao, I will definitely take him. Kepa Arrizabalaga on chances to leave Chelsea in the summer. Yes, there were things, but the club always gave me their trust. They always wanted me to be part of the squad. We analysed it, and I'm happy to stay and be in this great club. He further goes on to say, in regards to Graham Potter's appointment, in the end, it has only been a couple of days that we have been with him. It has been a bit of a crazy week. You can tell every player has been saying it's been a bit of a crazy week. It's been a bit of it was a shock for the players as well. I don't think they saw Thomas Tuchel being sacked coming that immediately. When a coach, Thomas Tuchel, with whom we have had so many good moments, leaves, it's always a bit sad. With the new coach, there's new ideas. So yeah, you can tell Kepa Arrizabalaga is definitely, as I said, much like other players, shocked, but at the same time is happy to learn new ideas. And I feel like Kepa, he might just rejuvenate his career under Graham Potter. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. He goes on to talk about Aubameyang. The truth is that the first days he arrived a little scared. He was a little bit in shock, a lot of change. The last 2 or 3 days were very crazy for him. Everything that happened to him was a misfortune. Look, I think we need to realize the situation of Aubameyang, and now when the players are talking about it as well. But in regards to Kepa, ladies and gentlemen, I personally feel, look, there were a few people that were saying, oh, Kepa could have done better to save that shot from Okorfo, I think that's his name, Salzburg player. Maybe he could have, but look, it's not his fault. That whole scenario transpired from midfield losing the ball and not showing enough aggression to win the ball back, and then obviously Thiago Silva and then Azpilicueta. But overall in that game, we were in trouble, and there were a couple of times when the ball was hit just behind our defensive line. Kepa actually came out and became a sweeper keeper, and his distribution from the back was good. There were times where we used him when the opposition was pressing. We used him as an outlet to play out from the back. I feel like he's going to be fancied over Mendy. And for Mendy, he's not been totally comfortable on the ball in recent times and historically as well. Like if you look at his career, like that's not what he does at his best. He's a shot stopper. And even recently, his shot stopping has been a bit strange as well. Look, it provides good, healthy competition. Mendy's not going to be now coming in thinking, oh, he's an absolute starter. He walks in. I think there's genuine competition, and this is good. As much as we want absolute clarity, as what Thomas Tuchel used to say, he wants absolute clarity in the goalkeeping position. But I think someone like Graham Potter, when you look at the goalkeeper, he used to have Sanchez in Brighton. He was very comfortable on the ball. So. It'll be interesting to see with the number of games that's coming up after the international break that we are going to feature, something like 10 games in the month of October, what Graham Potter does. I feel like he had a decent game against Salzburg yesterday, but it'll be interesting to see how Mendy takes on this challenge, and it'll be interesting to see, does Graham Potter just immediately reinstates Mendy back? You let me know, ladies and gentlemen, how you feel about this situation. I personally feel that Kepa might just rekindle his Chelsea career again, and we could potentially see him being the number one goalkeeper due to the traits that Graham Potter is looking for. But that's just my thoughts. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Law, Chelsea have held talks over buying a club in Portugal. Interest dates back to June when Boehly met with Neil Bath and Jorge Mendes in Portugal. And there's rumours that Todd Boehly was looking to buy a club in Brazil as well. This is some of the rumours that's happening over the last 24 hours. Todd Boehly in that interview if you guys have seen just recently where he opened up about Thomas Tuchel, where he talked about the All-Star game as well. Too much have been talked about that, man. Honestly, it's been blown out of proportion. Some of these media people in UK just taking the mick and making him look like he doesn't know anything. That All-Star idea, I felt like it was a decent idea. Like, it's there to raise funds for the pyramid structure in football and getting money down to the grassroots and developing them. I would love to watch that All-Star game. Honestly, I would. Instead of that charity shield or whatever it is, community shield that they play early in the season, play this and then raise those funds for the footballing pyramid. But going back to this, that multi-dimensional structure, that the multi-layered sort of structure that Chelsea wants to have ownership across many different other teams around Europe, around the world. It's an interesting thing. And he talks about Salzburg and Leipzig and how it's working for them. Both of those teams are in the Champions League as well. Can you imagine if Chelsea is able to buy one of these Portuguese teams and both the teams in the Champions League? It will only make Chelsea's stronghold in European football a lot better. But most importantly, the reasoning behind this, what Todd Boehly said, is we want to be in control of how the development of our players, our young players, youth academy players, or players that we buy, young players that we buy across from Europe. We want to be able to control their development, their growth. And if we're able to send them to clubs that we own, there is a vested interest to get the best out of those players and make sure that develop. For example, we've sent Leao Colwell to Brighton. It's not Brighton's prerogative to ensure that Leao Colwell develops. They could care less. All they care is that the player contributes, and they're worried about what position they are in the table in the Premier League. They don't really care about Leao Colwell's development. At the end of the day, he's a loan player, and this is the thing. And this is what happened with Billy Gilmore as well in Norwich. They don't, and it happens with many other players when they're in loan. So this is a very smart idea in my opinion, being able to buy these teams and also collaborate with them. They could have gems that could potentially come to Chelsea Football Club. So much like what Salzburg's doing with Leipzig. Sesko is now moving from Salzburg to Leipzig next season. So I like this approach, and looks like Todd Boehly is serious about this and he's moving very, very quick on this. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know how you feel about everything that we've talked about. Aubameyang opening up, Moises Caicedo, talks about Kepa, Arrizabalaga, and obviously this one in regards to Todd Boehly with a multi-dimensional structure. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you have. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time, see ya.